And there it was. My best red-eye bass I'd ever caught. It was a strange way to get there. But in my hands were beautiful white lined fins, crazy turquoise patterning on the cheek, and a gnarly black and white print going down its back. But more than the fish, it was the moment.
I can see his tongue too.
See his tongue? So this is a red-eye bass, and this is a big red-eye bass. They don't get very big. I don't know if I've seen them this big, buddy. Good boy.
After Riggins and I had gotten our first duck together, there was this temptation that I think everyone has to preserve the moment, to take it and put it on a shelf, to freeze it in time. I've heard people call them memory stones, right? Put it on the mantle as a stone of remembrance for something amazing that happened. I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. I just knew that that's not how I wanted it to end. The fact that I had this crazy discovery that our couch potato family dog was meant to be a duck hunter, and we had gotten it done after way too long trying, it just didn't seem right for the adventure to stop there. And that's when it hatched an idea. Instead of letting the memories rest on a shelf, I would take these memory stones and throw them back into the water and try to make some ripples between Riggins and myself and my family. And thankfully, the wood duck that brought us together was also going to be the wood duck that set us off on a crazy adventure. Never heard of red-eye bass? Let me introduce you. They are a small black bass species endemic to the southeastern United States who have a murderous intention for poppers, really anything on topwater. If it's there, they want to eat it. And over the years, we have fallen in love with these fish.
Garbaged it! Garbaged it! Oh, it was a good fish! Yep. Oh no! Pulled it right out of his mouth. Oh, he's still right there. Oh, he's still looking for it. He still wants it, man! Okay, aggressive species. I'll give you that. That was ridiculous.
Celebrating the smallest, the largest, the craziest eats. I've had one that's taken a fly out of the air before. Of course, I wasn't rolling cameras, but just one of those fishing stories that are better without documentation. But they have this gnarly focus of knocking down things that are, again, almost too big for them to eat. And if that doesn't get a fly angler excited, I just don't know what will. So while I've fished for red-eye bass for years now, the wood duck presented an interesting opportunity. Basically every color in the whole kaleidoscope is presented on a wood duck's plumage. You've got the crazy tassels on its head. You've got this burnt rust color mixing with white on its chest. Its wings are colored with blues and purples. There's this cascade down its nape that has greens and violets, and basically any color that you want to dream up, it's there. And the special part about fly fishing is fly tying. The ability to tie your own flies, create your own patterns to match what you see going on in the real world, and go out and test them. Now, there's actually a little bit of an issue here, because when I go fishing for redeye bass, I typically am just using a popper.
Looking at it. Please eat it. Oh!
Oh, look at the color.
That was awesome. Yeah, I can see his spots from back here.
But I remember one of the first things that someone told me was that redeye bass have a shared feeding program to trout. Again, they live in these small, clear stone streams, so that means that they're going to be looking for the exact same bugs that trout do. Now, again, I love throwing poppers. There's just nothing better than it. But it did get me thinking, could we catch redeye bass on dry flies? So I sat down at the vise to tie. Thankfully, I was very distracted along the way, but I had a cornucopia of feathers to choose from, aquatic invertebrates to match, and so I tied a bunch of flies and gave it a go. I focused on mayfly patterns. Now, these are bread and butter for any trout angler, but for an Alabamian, this is a little bit weird to be going for bass with a, again, tried and true trout fly. I chose some smaller streams thinking that that might, one, hold smaller fish, but also give the best chance for a mayfly pattern to be seen. And we would wait and wait, and some fish would take a look at it and then retreat. I think the majority just ignored it because it was a meal not worth it. And then we came to a small slack pool where I actually saw bugs coming off the water. Again, any trout angler would know that this is somewhere that fish should be staging up and getting ready to go, but the question is, would redeye bass? Cast 1, nothing. Cast 2, in the trees. Cast 3. There it is. Splashing and turning, again, still a bass, not a trout. Very much going to give the fight of its life, even if it is size challenged. And in your hands, a redeye bass. Now it's interesting, right? This thing took down a mayfly pattern when most of us should be throwing poppers or streamers or even crawfish patterns. And I thought it was pretty cool to see that fish swim off, knowing that I've done something a little different here. But as I walked out of the stream, it just kind of felt wrong. I was kind of debriefing the trip, and it's no surprise, right? The reason it felt off was because as I was fishing and waiting and using that wood duck fly, I didn't take the guy who deserved the credit. I'd left Riggins at home. And so at the urging of my family, I caved. Yeah, this wasn't the point. The point was to get out on the river with Riggins and these wood duck flies. So the next time I set out, I realized why these things are in tension with one another. Riggins wants to splash and run and dominate every single pool before I get to casting it. And I am now switched to a dry fly, very static presentations types of fishing. So these things just literally cannot coexist. So I found myself in this first session just getting really frustrated because I needed perfect stillness to present the fly so that a red-eye bass would see it and have a chance to take it down. And of course, Riggins was not there to have it. And as fate would have it, we didn't get it done. Just could not literally make the energy line up. Riggins has too much, the dry fly needs too little, so we just were not gonna make it happen. Now, since this was later in the summer, I was given a really clever epiphany. My little boy pointed out, why are you using small flies? Aren't the fish hungry? They would want to eat something more like a cricket or a grasshopper. If I was a fish, that's what I would want to eat. And this was a light bulb moment. Because yeah, I could tie a mean cricket pattern by using spun deer hair on the front to create a kind of a popping wake, much like a popper, but then all the overwing and body could be crazily colored by these wood duck feathers. It literally was like a match made in heaven. I kind of was embarrassed. I had never thought about this before, right? So I hastily sat down to tie it, got it tied, and then, as a young dad, the gotcha. Technically, it was my son's idea. And so technically, he laid claim to going with us, which I of course was happy to do, but just couldn't math the math, right? Last time Riggins was splashing around. Now I'm going to add a little kid to the mix, and I'm going to try a new fly. And then he doubles down and invites a friend, and now I have 2 little kids, a dog, and a fly. And so thankfully, as we drove out there, I set expectations pretty low. I said, we're gonna go to a beautiful stream. We're gonna enjoy a beautiful day. And I just don't know if any of the fish are gonna pan out. As we dropped into the stream, I was right. It was gonna be a beautiful day and a beautiful stream. But right off the bat, I could see where Riggins was gonna splash. Boom, we saw fish scatter. Little feet and blue jeans splashing and tripping into each pool. It just kind of was this combination of chaos. As we blew out pool after pool after pool, I had this tension of, I want to show these kids a good time and I want them to have fun in nature, seeing fly fishing at one of its most fun corners. But every time we had a good opportunity, little feet or paws blew up the pool. And so with an hour left, called an emergency snack time. We let everybody kind of get their jitters out. And I noticed around the bend that there was a really nice slack area with some deep water. Definitely not the place I wanted to be throwing a dry fly, just the kind of place that a hopper could make a really big racket and give it a kind of a Hail Mary cast. And maybe there's a chance we'll pick up a fish and get to show the kids. Throw it out once, pop, pop, boom. In the moment, I thought it was a decent red-eye bass. Again, for comparison, think about a decent brook trout. We're not talking about 18-pound largemouth bass here. We're not talking about a superb 6-pound smallie. We're talking about brook trout sizes. So when I saw a decent checkered back roll over the fly, I was excited. But you can kind of see me tense up when it jumps the first time. This is a better fish. It's got a 3-weight bent all the way over, and I start to have a little bit of sweat for the first time red-eye bass fishing. Oh no, this is the biggest red-eye bass I've ever seen. And crap, the kids who are with me need to see a fish today. I can't mess this up. I am not a good multitasker, but somehow in the moment, I position rod correctly, I back off dog correctly, I stave off the kids for a moment, and boom, hand in mouth, and I look down kind of incredulously and say, Uh-oh, this is the biggest one I've ever caught. The kids and Riggins kind of pile around, gazing at, again, the first fish of the day. And I think for them, they're like, ooh, it's cool, this actually works. Like, you know, Dad goes fly fishing and actually things happen. But for me, I'm holding this fish and I realize it's the best red-eye bass I've ever caught.
I can see his tongue too.
You see his tongue? So this is a red-eye bass, and this is a big red-eye bass. They don't get very big. I don't know if I've seen them this big, buddy. Pretty cool. Do you see the red on his fins?
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I'll touch them. They're really
You gonna touch him? Riggins has already touched him 3 times. Good job, guys.
Oh, look. What's his this?
Yeah, that's his spine.
Yeah, the spines are cool.
And it's due to this crazy collision course that Riggins and I have been on. If I never take him duck hunting, if I never listen to my little boy's request about grasshoppers, if I never have the ridiculous idea of taking everybody on the stream, none of this happens. And so bottled up in a little moment is everything I was looking for.
Touch your tail as I release her, okay?
Okay.
You ready? Everybody ready? High five! High five! Good boy, Riggins.
Oh,
Good boy,
that was
Riggins.
really fast.
Thanks for catching us the duck, Riggins.
Instead of putting a memory on a shelf and letting it collect dust, I've got another crazy memory in my hands and 8 eyes to see it. It's one of those things that in fly fishing it almost feels too crazy to hold. And that's kind of the best part, right? You let it go.